Beneath the stillness of your room tonight, there are countless vibrations. Every atom in the pillow beneath your head, every particle in the air you breathe is quietly humming, not in noise, but in rhythm, invisible, constant, serene. This is the world of quantum physics, a place where the smallest pieces of existence move like music too soft to hear. Welcome to AstraFlow. Here, science drifts like starlight, and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts slow down, your breathing find its rhythm, and your mind float through wonder. Before we begin, I'd love to know where you're listening from. Are you lying in bed under city lights, or watching the stars from somewhere quiet? Tell me in the comments. It's always peaceful to imagine the AstraFlow community scattered across the world, drifting together through the same sky. And if this calm journey brings you peace, you can gently support AstraFlow by liking this video or subscribing. It helps this little corner of the cosmos keep glowing. Now, let's begin tonight's voyage into the quiet story of quantum physics, where even silence is alive with motion. When you think of the world, you may picture stability, solid ground, steady walls, dependable things. But deep beneath that calm surface, reality trembles. The table, the air, even the rhythm of your heartbeat, all are woven from moving energy, from particles that blink in and out of existence. It's a hidden ocean, one that underlies everything you know. And though we live upon its waves, most of us never feel its motion. To drift through quantum physics is to learn how the universe breathes. It's not about equations or experiments. It's about the strange poetry beneath all form, a poetry of chance and connection, of light behaving like thought, of matter becoming music. Here, time slows, reality softens, and we begin to see how everything, from a star to a whisper, is part of the same shimmering pattern. As you settle deeper into rest, imagine shrinking smaller than atoms, smaller than dust, past the point where solidity dissolves, until all that remains are faint pulses of light, flickering in and out like fireflies in the dark. That's where we're going tonight, to the stillness beneath all things, to the space where energy dances and where the boundaries of what is real begin to blur. Close your eyes, let your thoughts scatter like particles across a quiet field. Let your breath align with the invisible hum of the world. The deeper you breathe, the deeper you fall, not into confusion, but into calm. The universe is vast, but every bit of it, even this very moment, is made of motion too small to see. And as we begin to drift through it, you might feel something beautiful. That the smallest mysteries in the cosmos are the same quiet forces that keep you alive. What does it mean for something to be real? When you touch the wall beside you, it feels solid, firm, dependable. Yet beneath your hand, that same wall is mostly empty space. At its core, it is a blur of energy, a vibration, a swarm of invisible probabilities. The deeper we look, the less certain the world becomes. Matter, it turns out, is not a collection of tiny unchanging pieces. It's a story of movement, of waves rising and collapsing, of possibilities becoming moments, then fading again into potential. Every breath you take passes through that story. Every heartbeat participates in it. Even your thoughts, your memories, your sense of you, they all unfold through the same invisible sea. When physicists began to explore this strange landscape, they found that reality behaves like a dream that changes when you notice it. Observation, they discovered, is not separate from the world being observed. Like light falling on a surface, our awareness touches what exists and gives it shape. The universe, in its smallest details, doesn't stand still waiting to be seen. It responds, it listens, it decides. This is the quiet paradox of quantum physics. The more we try to define reality, the softer its edges become. It is both particle and wave, both definite and uncertain, both something and nothing. And maybe that's not confusion, maybe it's a kind of harmony, because the universe doesn't need to choose one form, it flows between them. So tonight, as your breath slows and your body begins to drift, imagine that same gentle motion happening inside everything. Every atom in your body shimmering with energy, every cell part of the same cosmic pulse. What feels like stillness is only balance, the pause between vibrations. Reality isn't fixed, it's breathing, and in that breath, everything, you, the stars, the spaces between, simply flows. To the naked eye, the world feels simple, a stone, a leaf, a hand resting on a bedsheet. Each appears whole, complete, tangible. But if we could shrink ourselves down, beyond dust, beyond molecules, past the spinning electrons and into the quiet between them, we would find a landscape that defies everything familiar. Down there, solidity dissolves, shapes blur. The border between thing and space disappears entirely. What we call matter is not structure, but rhythm. Atoms are mostly emptiness, and the pieces within them are not truly pieces. They are patterns of energy, flickering, colliding, resonating. Quantum physics is the science that dares to look beneath that veil. It doesn't study what we can see, but what we can barely imagine. The realm where particles become waves, and waves become probability. In this world, nothing happens with certainty. Instead, everything exists as a cloud of maybes. A particle might be here or there or both, until something, perhaps a photon, perhaps an observer, asks the universe to decide. The moment of decision is where possibility turns to presence, like mist condensing into a single drop. It's strange, isn't it, to realize that the world you trust so deeply is made of hesitation and potential, and yet there's a kind of peace in it. The microscopic realm reminds us that reality is not a rigid machine but a flowing conversation, between matter and energy, between chaos and pattern, between what is and what could be. Even silence vibrates there. So as you breathe now, slowly, evenly, imagine that every breath passes through that invisible web, through particles shimmering in uncertainty, through fields humming softly with life. You're not separate from this quantum world. You are made of it, sustained by it, and moving through it. The same emptiness that fills atoms fills the spaces between your thoughts. Within that stillness, within that hum, all things begin. An atom is impossibly small, yet within it lies a universe of motion. If you could look closely enough at the matter that makes up your body, the air, the pillow beneath your head, you would see vast empty space dotted with tiny points of light. The nucleus in the centre, electrons drifting in wide orbits like distant moons. What feels solid is mostly nothing, held together by invisible forces. The table under your hand is less a block of matter and more a field of energy, its atoms vibrating, pushing against yours, never truly touching. Solidity is an illusion created by resistance, like waves that seem to have form while the ocean itself remains fluid. Each atom is its own world, a miniature solar system where particles whirl in constant motion. The electrons never rest. They shimmer between positions, guided by probability rather than certainty. They do not orbit in neat circles as we once imagined, but exist as clouds, soft halos of potential. Within that haze, the universe writes its smallest stories, bonds forming, energy shifting, light escaping as a quiet glow. And yet, all this happens within something so small you could fit billions upon billions of atoms in a single grain of sand. The scale is almost unthinkable. The distance between the nucleus and its electrons compared to the atom's size is like a fly circling a cathedral. The rest is emptiness. Still, this emptiness is not nothing. It's the stage on which all existence performs, filled with electric tension and quantum vibration. When you press your palm against your chest, you're touching this unseen architecture of life. Your atoms dance with the same rhythm as the stars. The iron in your blood once belonged to a dying sun. The carbon in your skin formed in stellar furnaces long ago. Every bit of you carries the memory of light. The same patterns that bind galaxies together also hold your molecules in place. So as you rest now, imagine that you're both vast and small, a constellation of atoms adrift in the gentle sea of being. Every heartbeat echoes through a universe within you. Every breath reminds you that you're made of the same quiet energy that hums through everything that exists. Worlds within worlds, motion within stillness. The deeper you look, the more you dissolve into wonder. If we could drift even deeper past the familiar shapes of atoms and into the fabric beneath them, we would enter a realm where form loses its meaning. Here, particles no longer behave like tiny marbles, but as gentle waves of probability, a mist of existence. Scientists call it the quantum wave function, but you can think of it as a fog of potential, spreading softly through space until something or someone asks it to become real. In this quantum fog, location is not fixed. A particle doesn't have one home, but many, everywhere it could be, all at once. It is like a sound echoing through a vast canyon, present in many places until the echo fades and the silence chooses a single note to keep. When we measure it, the fog collapses and the particle suddenly decides where it was all along. The act of looking changes what is seen. This is not just theory. It is how the universe behaves. Even light, the most familiar messenger of reality, moves through this fog. A photon can travel like a wave, spreading across space, yet when it touches a surface or a sensor, it appears as a single point, one spark, one presence, both wave and particle, both many and one. It's as though reality keeps all its options open until the moment it must choose. The quantum fog reminds us that uncertainty is not disorder. It is possibility. Without it, nothing could move or change. The very same principle that lets particles shimmer between states allows stars to form, chemistry to flourish, and life to begin. What feels vague or unstable is, in truth, the breathing space of creation. As you breathe now, let that idea settle like mist through your thoughts. You're surrounded by this quiet uncertainty, carried by it, shaped by it. Every cell in your body exists within this fog of endless potential. Every heartbeat is the universe collapsing one of its countless possibilities, just for you, just in this moment. In the silence of the night, when everything seems still, remember, stillness is an illusion. Beneath it, the fog of being moves gently, endlessly, beautifully. Imagine standing at the edge of a dark lake at night. The water looks calm, smooth, untouched, until you throw in a pebble. Instantly, ripples spread outward, transforming the still surface into motion. Observation in quantum physics is much like that. The moment we look, the universe stirs. The act of watching changes what is watched. In the quantum world, particles live as possibilities, faint outlines of what could be. But when something interacts with them, even a single photon of light, those possibilities collapse into one outcome. The fog becomes form. Reality, as we know it, happens because something, or someone, observed. Scientists once thought of observation as a passive act, like simply shining a flashlight into the dark. But now we understand it as participation. To measure a particle is to join its story. To see it is to touch it, to influence the rhythm of its dance. It's a gentle but profound truth. The observer and the observed are not separate. They are partners in existence. Your awareness is not outside the universe. It is part of it. Every moment you perceive, the world changes slightly because you're there to notice it. Each glance, each thought, each breath folds you deeper into the cosmic fabric. Consider that for a moment. Every time you look at the night sky, you're not just gazing at starlight from the past, you're completing its journey. The photon that left a star millions of years ago finds its destiny when it touches your eye. Its story ends, and yours continues. The act of seeing is a bridge between infinite space and the small, soft moment of now. So as you rest, eyes closed or half open, know that you too are part of this great experiment of existence. You're both the question and the answer. The world becomes what it is partly because you are here to experience it. Every thought is a kind of observation, every feeling a small collapse of possibility into being. Let that awareness be light, not heavy. You don't need to solve it, just feel it. The universe is not demanding attention, it is sharing awareness. You're the pebble in the lake. The ripples that form are the quiet proof that reality has seen you too. At the heart of quantum physics lies something invisible but elegant, the wave function. It isn't a particle or a place or a thing, it's a description of all that might be. Each particle in the universe carries one, a soft mathematical murmur that tells where it could exist, how it might move, and what it could become. Before we look, it is only this, a whisper of possibility spread through space. To imagine it, think of standing in a quiet room where someone is humming. You can't see where the sound begins or ends. It fills the air completely. The wave function is that hum, gentle, constant, everywhere at once. It ripples through existence, mapping the hidden harmonies of matter. When we measure or observe, the hum fades into a single note. Probability becomes reality. Silence follows song. Erwin Schrödinger, one of the early dreamers of quantum theory, gave this whisper its poetic form. To him, every particle's wave function was like a story unwritten, infinite versions waiting to be read. Only when an interaction occurs does one version unfold and the others dissolve back into the quiet. This isn't loss, it's flow. The universe doesn't choose wrong paths, only shifting melodies. That idea can feel abstract, but you live it every moment. Your choices, your breaths, your thoughts are wave functions too, possibilities collapsing into moments, one after another. Life is a series of gentle selections made from infinite potential. The quantum world mirrors our own inner rhythm. Countless futures drifting like light across calm water until one becomes the reflection we call now. So as you breathe, picture that hum filling the room, not a sound but a feeling. The air itself softly alive, vibrating with unseen order. The molecules around you, the light across the wall, the pulse of your heart, all part of the same quiet equation. Everything around you, even the silence, is a wave of probability folding itself into being. The wave function never truly stops. Even when measured, it reforms, whispering again through space, shaping the next possibility. It is the heartbeat beneath existence, a song that never ends, only changes tempo, and you, like every atom, are both listener and note in that endless cosmic music. Light has always been our oldest companion. It wakes us each morning, paints the oceans gold, and reveals the shapes of the world. Yet, beneath its warmth hides one of the strangest truths in physics. Light is both a wave and a particle. It can ripple gently like sound through air, or travel as single packets of energy, called photons. It refuses to choose just one form, and somehow, both are true. When we imagine light as a wave, it moves smoothly, spreading across space, bending around corners, interfering with itself like ripples meeting on a pond. But when we observe it closely, say through a detector or a camera, it arrives as tiny points, single sparks, one after another. It is both continuous and discrete, both melody and heartbeat. Scientists call this the wave-particle duality, but perhaps it's more like a reminder. The universe is not made to fit within the borders of our logic. It moves freely between opposites. Light's behavior depends on how we ask our questions. When we design an experiment to reveal waves, waves appear. When we look for particles, particles respond. Reality adapts to attention, a cosmic mirror that changes shape as we gaze into it. This is not deception, it is flexibility, the freedom of existence to express itself in more than one language. If you close your eyes now, you can still feel light's presence, even in darkness. The faint warmth on your skin, the afterimage behind your eyelids, echoes of photons still dancing. Each one has travelled across unimaginable distances, perhaps from a star that no longer exists, to find its final destination in you. That single act, light meeting awareness, completes the journey of a universe-sized wave collapsing into a point of being. The dual nature of light teaches a quiet lesson. We too can be both things at once. You can be grounded and infinite, still and moving, present and dreaming. The same paradox that allows light to shimmer allows you to think, to feel, to be. Within you, particle and wave coexist, structure and spirit, form and flow. As the night deepens, imagine yourself not bathed in light, but made of it, every atom emitting a faint, silent glow, each breath sending ripples into space, gentle, invisible, eternal. You're not just watching the light, you're part of its story, a moment of brightness in the endless unfolding of the cosmos. When we hear the word vacuum, we imagine emptiness, a hollow void, a silent absence of all things. But in the quantum world, even emptiness is alive. What we call nothing is actually a field of restless energy, constantly flickering, vibrating, creating and erasing particles faster than any clock could measure. The vacuum is not quiet. It hums softly beneath existence, the subtle music that never stops playing. If you could peer into the fabric of space itself, into the gaps between atoms, between galaxies, you'd see it shimmer. Tiny pairs of particles and antiparticles appear out of nothing, borrow energy from the universe, and then vanish again in perfect balance. They are called virtual particles, but the effects they leave behind are very real. Their brief presence gives rise to forces, to magnetism, even to the slow drift of the universe's expansion. This constant flicker is called quantum fluctuation. It's as though the universe can't bear to be perfectly still, even when stripped of matter, stripped of light, stripped of time itself. It keeps moving, breathing, pulsing with potential. The void, it seems, is pregnant with creation. Every galaxy, every star, every thought may have begun as a ripple in that unseen sea of energy. When you pause and listen, you might sense a reflection of that motion inside yourself. Beneath every still moment, your body is alive with motion, blood flowing, neurons sparking, molecules vibrating. Even rest is never truly still. It's balance between infinite movements. The same vacuum energy that fills the cosmos fills the space between your atoms, linking you to the quiet power of creation. Physicists sometimes call this energy the zero-point field, the lowest possible energy a system can have, yet never zero. Even at absolute stillness, something remains. It's the hum of existence itself. Perhaps that's why silence feels full, why solitude never truly means alone. There is always motion beneath the calm, a constant whisper saying, "I am here." As you drift deeper into relaxation, imagine that hum expanding within and around you, a soft, invisible tide holding everything in place. Every breath, every heartbeat, every flicker of thought ripples through that field. You're not floating in emptiness. You're floating in the universe's quiet pulse, the same pulse that holds the stars, the same that began everything we know. The vacuum isn't empty. It's the cradle of creation, and tonight, as you rest, you are suspended gently within it, part of the universe's endless breathing stillness. There's a secret thread that runs through the fabric of the universe, invisible, unbreakable, and faster than light itself. It's called entanglement. When two particles interact and become linked, they stay connected no matter how far apart they drift. One can be on the other side of the galaxy, yet when it moves, the other responds instantly, as if space itself forgot to separate them. Einstein once called it spooky action at a distance, but perhaps it's not spooky at all, just proof that connection runs deeper than distance. Entanglement defies our ordinary sense of reality. It tells us that space and time are not the barriers we thought they were. Two particles that were once together never truly part ways. Their states remain intertwined, like reflections in a single mirror. Measure one, and the other instantly reveals itself, not by signal, not by travel, but by shared being. It's as if they are not two things at all, but one presence appearing in different places. This isn't just poetry, it's measurable truth. Physicists have tested it again and again, sending photons through long tunnels, across islands, even between satellites orbiting Earth. No matter the distance, the connection holds. It's as if the universe itself remembers its unity, no matter how far its pieces wander. When you think about it, maybe that's how everything works. Not just particles, but people. You may be far from someone you love, separated by oceans or years, yet the bond still hums quietly between you. A thought of them, a sudden warmth, an unexpected calm, a tiny echo of entanglement woven through the human heart. The same principle that links electrons may underlie all connection. Every atom in your body once shared space with the stars, with ancient oceans, with others who breathed before you. The particles that compose your body were once scattered across the cosmos, meeting, merging, parting, finding their way here to this moment. Entanglement, then, is not a rare exception. It is the rule of everything that exists. So as you rest, imagine those invisible threads stretching across the universe, from your heart to a distant star, from your breath to the dawn rising somewhere else, from you to every other form of life quietly breathing in this same night. You're not alone. You have never been. The universe is one vast fabric, and you are one luminous thread within it, always connected, always known, always part of the whole. At first glance, the quantum world looks like chaos. Particles appear and vanish. Probabilities shift without warning, and even the act of measurement seems to rewrite what's true. But if you linger in that strangeness long enough, a quiet pattern begins to emerge, a rhythm hiding within the randomness. What looks like noise is not disorder. It's a deeper kind of harmony, one too subtle for the human eye to trace. Every roll of the cosmic dice follows invisible laws. Even uncertainty has structure. The flicker of an electron, the shimmer of a photon, the way atoms combine and separate. All of it follows probabilities that fit together like pieces of an unseen mosaic. It's as if the universe speaks a language made of chance, where each possibility contributes to a greater design. Physicists often describe this pattern through equations, but you don't need math to feel it. You can sense it in nature's flow, in the shape of clouds, in the rhythm of rain, in the endless variations of a flame. No two moments are the same, yet all belong to one unfolding balance. Randomness, in truth, is just freedom, the space that allows creativity to exist. Think of a breeze moving through a forest. Each leaf trembles differently, unpredictably, yet the whole forest sways together. That is the quantum world. Infinite micro movements creating one graceful macro dance. The small and the vast move as one, even when they appear uncoordinated. In your own life, you might see echoes of this hidden order. The coincidences that bring people together, the timing that feels like accident but later reveals meaning, the moments that seem random but turn into gentle turning points. Perhaps the universe expresses intelligence not through control, but through pattern, through the quiet alignment of what seems like chaos. So as you breathe in now, imagine those random ripples around you forming a soft symmetry, not rigid but fluid, like starlight reflected on moving water. Every flicker of uncertainty in your thoughts, every memory, every pause is part of a wider rhythm, one that the mind may never solve, yet the heart can always feel. There is order in the chaos, not the order of rules, but the order of flow. The same flow that guides particles through uncertainty also carries you, gently, through each day, each dream, each breath. And maybe that's all we need to trust, that beneath every moment of confusion, the universe is still humming in perfect balance. In the quantum world, certainty dissolves into softness. There are no absolute answers, only chances. A particle might be here with 60% likelihood, there with 30, somewhere else with a faint whisper of possibility. The universe speaks through probability, a language not of yes or no, but of maybe. It's the mathematics of possibility, a quiet negotiation between what could happen and what will. To our human minds, that feels strange. We like precision, cause and effect, the comfort of knowing. But at the smallest scales, nature refuses to be pinned down. Instead, it dances between outcomes, as if existence itself prefers to stay open, fluid, undecided until the very last moment. Nothing in the quantum realm is fully certain until it must be. And then, in an instant, a choice is made. This language of probability isn't chaos, it's grace. It's what allows atoms to bind, molecules to form, light to scatter, and life to exist. If the universe were rigid, nothing could grow. Probability is the breath of creation, the gentle variability that gives rise to stars, rivers, and dreams. Each outcome, each possibility, is a note in a vast evolving song. Imagine the universe rolling its own version of dice, not to gamble, but to create diversity, to explore every variation of beauty. The same principles that decide the spin of an electron or the path of a photon are at work when a raindrop chooses its trail down a window, or when two lives cross paths unexpectedly. So as you rest tonight, let go of the need for certainty. Let life be a probability wave, moving, adapting, reshaping. Every thought you have, every direction you might take exists for a moment as a cloud of potential. You're not confined by one fixed outcome. You're a constellation of possibilities waiting for your quiet choice to bring them into being. The language of probability is one of permission. Permission for things to unfold differently, to surprise us, to change. It invites us to live gently, to observe without judgment, to understand that everything we see is only one realization among countless others that could have been. So breathe in and imagine your breath scattering like particles through infinite maybes. Each inhale brings potential. Each exhale releases what no longer needs to be. This is how the universe speaks, softly, flexibly, beautifully, in the quiet dialect of perhaps. In the classical world, barriers define limits. A wall blocks your path. A mountain stands firm. A rock cannot pass through another rock. But in the quantum world, limits behave differently, less like walls, more like curtains of mist. Here, particles sometimes do the impossible. They slip through barriers they have no energy to cross. This quiet defiance is called quantum tunneling. Imagine a small marble rolling toward a hill. If it lacks the energy to climb over, it should roll back down. But at the quantum level, the marble is also a wave, a spread of possibilities that extends beyond the barrier, and sometimes part of that wave appears on the other side, as if it had tunneled straight through solid matter. It doesn't crash or break. It simply appears, softly, naturally, unexplainably. This tiny miracle isn't rare. It's woven into the machinery of existence. Without tunneling, the sun would not shine. The nuclear fusion at its core depends on particles passing through barriers that, by classical logic, should be impassable. Every beam of sunlight that touches your skin carries the memory of this invisible rebellion. Every heartbeat, every living breath, owes its warmth to that gentle defiance of impossibility. Tunneling reminds us that what seems solid or final is never absolute. Even the most unyielding obstacles can be porous at the smallest scales. Sometimes progress doesn't mean breaking through with force. It means fading through quietly, like light through fog. The universe itself seems to whisper, there are always paths unseen. In human life, too, we find our own versions of tunneling. Times when you move through something you thought you could never cross. Grief, fear, doubt. And somehow, without clear explanation, you find yourself on the other side. You don't remember the moment of passage, only the feeling of having arrived. Perhaps this too is a kind of quantum grace, the tunneling of the heart. As you lie here, breathing softly, imagine those gentle waves of energy flowing through barriers, not by force but by resonance. You're not stuck. You're vibrating through the walls of limitation, becoming freer with every breath. Somewhere within and around you, particles are tunneling right now, defying boundaries in silence. The universe, it seems, does not believe in the impossible. It only believes in persistence, in gentle, continuous motion. Even when blocked, even when trapped, existence finds a way to flow. So let yourself flow too, through thought, through time, through the invisible walls of worry. Beyond every barrier lies light waiting to meet you. In the strange quiet of the quantum realm, a single particle can exist in many places at once. It doesn't choose one position, one state, one outcome. It holds them all simultaneously. This phenomenon is called superposition. Before it is measured, a particle is not here or there, not this or that. It is every possibility, softly overlapping, like ripples blending on a pond before they separate again. It sounds impossible, yet nature depends on it. Superposition is the reason electrons can orbit atoms the way they do, why light can travel as both wave and particle, why quantum computers, built on this principle, can hold vast information in delicate harmony. It is the rule of potential, the freedom of uncertainty made real. To picture it, imagine standing in a dark field at dawn, surrounded by mist. Every direction you could walk fades into possibility. Paths unchosen but alive. The future hasn't picked a shape yet, and in that suspension lies beauty. The quantum world lives forever in that dawn moment, everything possible, nothing fixed. Only when we observe does the fog begin to thin. One path brightens, one form emerges, the wave collapses, and the particle becomes what it must be. But even then, it remembers. The ghost of all it could have been lingers in the background, whispering that reality too is born from choice. Superposition isn't limited to physics. It's a quiet metaphor for life. Each of us carries countless versions of ourselves. Who we are, who we might become, who we once were. We live in a superposition of memories and dreams, thoughts and possibilities. Only through time and decision does one version take shape, but the others never truly vanish. They ripple softly beneath the surface, shaping who we are in ways unseen. Perhaps that's what potential really means. Not choosing everything at once, but holding openness long enough for clarity to emerge. The universe seems to trust uncertainty, to rest comfortably in the space between maybes. It doesn't rush to collapse its wave. It waits for the right touch of awareness to bring it into being. So as you breathe now, imagine yourself in that same gentle state of superposition. Every exhale a letting go of definition. Every inhale an embrace of possibility. You don't need to be only one thing tonight. Not certain, not finished, not confined. You are many things at once, drifting between versions of yourself, luminous and changing. Like the particles beneath your skin, you're a field of potential, waiting quietly for your next moment of becoming. In 1935, a physicist named Erwin Schrödinger tried to explain how strange the idea of superposition really is. He asked us to imagine a cat sealed in a box with a tiny quantum device, one that has a 50-50 chance to release poison depending on the decay of an atom. According to quantum rules, until the box is opened, the atom is both decayed and undecayed, which means the cat is both alive and not alive at the same time. It sounds absurd, but that absurdity is the point. Schrödinger never meant for the cat to suffer, he meant for our minds to stretch. What he revealed is the paradox at the heart of reality. Before observation, the world exists in layers of possibility. The cat is a metaphor for every quantum system, a reminder that nature doesn't pick a single story until we look. Once we observe, the wave collapses and the universe settles on one version of truth, but before that moment everything is suspended in quiet ambiguity. If we see the metaphor gently, it's not about death or danger, it's about patience. The box is like the space between thoughts, the pause before understanding. Inside it, infinite outcomes coexist. The universe breathes in that uncertainty, waiting for awareness to open the lid. Every decision we make, every glance we take is a small opening of that box, a quiet act of choosing one reality from the fog of many. Schrödinger's cat reminds us that truth is participatory. The universe does not reveal itself until we engage with it. It isn't hiding, it's waiting for conversation. Just as the experimenter must look inside the box, we must look inside ourselves, to observe, to notice, to bring consciousness to what we are. Awareness collapses possibility into experience, and maybe that's what living really is. An endless opening of boxes. We never know what we'll find, yet each act of observation brings something into being. Our attention, our curiosity, is the quiet energy that turns potential into life. So tonight, imagine all the unopened boxes of your mind. Memories, dreams, futures not yet seen. They exist together, softly, patiently. There is no rush to decide which are true. Let them drift like the quantum cat between states of maybe. In the stillness of sleep, you are both dreamer and observer, alive in every possible version of yourself. And when morning comes, you'll open a new box, another small piece of the infinite wave, gently becoming real. When we imagine the universe, we often think of it as a stage, empty space with stars, planets, and matter performing upon it. But quantum physics whispers a different story. There is no empty stage. The stage is the play. Everything, from the faintest light to the heaviest planet, rises from invisible fields that fill all of space. These are the quantum fields, the true fabric of reality. Every type of particle you've ever heard of, electrons, photons, quarks, is simply a ripple in one of these fields. The electron field exists everywhere, even in the dark space between galaxies. When it vibrates, we call that vibration an electron. The photon field ripples and light appears. Nothing exists in isolation. Everything is just a local disturbance in the same universal sea. If you could see this fabric, it would look like a soft, endless ocean. Smooth, dynamic, alive. Particles would be waves moving across its surface, blending, colliding, reforming. The emptiness of space isn't silent. It's trembling with invisible movement. What we perceive as separation, between objects, between ourselves, is only the way these ripples form and fade. Beneath it all, Everything is connected through the same continuous medium. It's humbling to realize that even as you sit still, you're shimmering. The atoms of your body are not solid shells, but overlapping waves in a cosmic field. The space between your fingers, your breath, your thoughts, all woven from the same energetic thread. You're not floating in the universe. You are the universe, momentarily aware of itself. Physicists describe these fields with mathematics, but you can feel them without equations. The warmth of sunlight on your skin is the photon field brushing against you. The electricity in your heartbeat is the electron field humming within. The force that keeps your feet on the floor, the strength that holds atoms together, all of it is vibration in the fabric. Reality is not built from blocks, but from resonance. So as you rest now, picture yourself lying upon that invisible ocean, weightless, supported, drifting on its quiet energy. Every ripple that passes beneath you connects you to every other ripple in existence. You're a temporary pattern in an eternal field, a crest in the wave of being. When you breathe, the field breathes with you. When you sleep, it still moves gently through you. There is no edge to it, no boundary, no end. The true fabric of reality is not something you must reach. It's already holding you, softly, completely, forever. There is a frontier so small that even imagination struggles to reach it, a limit called the Planck scale. It is the threshold where the familiar rules of space and time begin to dissolve. At this infinitesimal level, distances are shorter than anything we can measure, and moments are briefer than anything we can conceive. It is here that the universe's smooth fabric begins to shimmer, break, and blur, a realm where geometry itself trembles. The Planck length is unimaginably tiny. A decimal followed by 34 zeros before the first digit appears. If an atom was stretched to the size of the observable universe, a single Planck length would still be smaller than a tree within it. Below this scale, even the idea of below loses meaning. Space stops being continuous and becomes granular, like pixels of existence too fine for our senses to perceive. Physicists believe this is where quantum mechanics and gravity collide, where the vast curves of Einstein's space-time meet the restless jitter of the quantum world. It's the borderland between what we know and what we can only guess, in that trembling edge. Perhaps time itself flickers in fits and starts. Perhaps energy and space trade identities. Perhaps reality is no longer a surface, but a song. We cannot see it directly, yet its effects ripple through everything. The Planck scale is the foundation stone of being, the smallest rhythm in the cosmic symphony. Every movement you make, every thought, every photon of light is woven from countless vibrations at this invisible level. It's the ground beneath reality, not solid, but pulsing. Sometimes, when life feels uncertain or vast beyond comprehension, it helps to remember this scale. The universe has layers even beneath its silence. Beneath galaxies lie atoms, beneath atoms lie fields, and beneath those fields lies this flickering threshold, a quantum heartbeat smaller than all imagining. Yet without it, nothing could exist. As you breathe, picture that heartbeat pulsing through everything, a rhythm so fast and fine that it feels like stillness. The Planck scale is the quiet between notes, the instant between one reality and the next. To reach it, you don't need to shrink or search, you only need to rest. For even your calmest breath moves in time with the smallest tremor of creation. At the edge of the known, there is no fear, no emptiness, only vibration, softly holding the cosmos together. And tonight, as you drift towards sleep, that same vibration holds you too. Even in its quietest state, the universe is never truly still. Beneath the calm of space and the silence between stars, there is energy, restless, infinite, subtle. Quantum physics teaches us that this energy cannot vanish. It only changes form, flowing endlessly between what is seen and unseen. It is the breath of existence, the pulse that animates all things. Every particle, every atom, every flicker of light is a note in this great exchange. When energy gathers, it becomes matter, solid, tangible, something you can touch. When it releases, it becomes motion, radiation, warmth, thought. Einstein's simple equation, E mc2, is a translation of that eternal rhythm. Matter and energy are not opposites. They are lovers in constant transformation. What you call solid is simply condensed light, resting for a while before it flows again. If you could listen to this process, you might hear a quiet hum, the vibration of every atom shifting and exchanging energy with the space around it. The desk before you, the air, the moon, your own heartbeat, all are temporary forms of this one infinite current. Nothing is wasted, nothing lost. The universe breathes in creation and exhales transformation forever. In your body, this same rhythm continues. The warmth in your chest, the electricity firing in your nerves, the oxygen dissolving in your blood, all are expressions of energy changing state, moment by moment. When you move, you rearrange it. When you sleep, it settles into balance. You're not separate from the universe's energy. You're one expression of it, a brief, beautiful configuration of light and motion. Even in darkness, energy persists. Even in silence, it vibrates. It moves through your thoughts, your dreams, your quiet moments of wonder. When you close your eyes, that current hums beneath awareness, reminding you that nothing truly ends. It only transforms. So as you rest tonight, imagine that flow surrounding you, entering with each breath, leaving with each exhale. You are part of the universe's gentle respiration. With every inhale, you borrow energy from the stars. With every exhale, you return it to the infinite sea. The atoms in your lungs may one day become part of a leaf, a wave, a planet, or a sun. Quantum energy is not distant or abstract. It is intimate. It is the warmth of your body against the cool night air. It is the electricity behind a thought that drifts into a dream. It is the invisible bridge between your heartbeat and the pulse of the cosmos. The same force that fuels galaxies also fuels you. Everything you are is motion, and that motion is eternal. The universe exhales, and you exist. The universe inhales, and you rest. This is the quiet rhythm of all things, energy flowing, endlessly, softly, beautifully. At the heart of every particle, there is a hidden motion, a subtle turning, a quiet rotation known as spin. It isn't spinning the way a planet spins or a wheel turns, yet it carries angular momentum all the same. It is as if each particle holds within it a small eternal twirl, a gesture of rhythm built into the fabric of existence itself. Spin gives the universe its character. It defines how particles behave, how they interact, how they form the structures of matter and light. Without spin, atoms would not bind, magnetism would not exist, and the dance of energy would lose its form. The stars that glow above you tonight shimmer because their atoms align through this invisible rotation. The compass points north because countless electrons spin in synchrony, creating a magnetic field that guides the needle home. It's strange to think that even the smallest particle moves with such grace, a cosmic dancer performing endlessly in silence. This motion never tires, never fades. It is constant, like a heartbeat beneath the surface of reality. Every speck of matter, every photon of light carries its own rhythm, spinning softly through the darkness, reminding us that even the quietest forms of existence still move with purpose. If you could see this hidden rotation, the world would appear alive with motion. The air around you would shimmer with spinning particles, each one turning in perfect balance. The pillow beneath your head would glow faintly with the magnetic harmony of electrons dancing in their invisible fields. Even your thoughts, electrical impulses firing through the brain, rely on these rotations, tiny moments of spin, aligning into patterns that become awareness. There is something comforting in this. Motion does not need to be loud to be powerful. The greatest forces in the universe are the gentlest ones: rotation, vibration, flow. The same subtle spin that shapes galaxies also shapes the atoms in your hand. What happens in the smallest realm echoes through the largest, so as you rest, feel that quiet spin mirrored inside you. The steady pulse of your heart, the slow rotation of the earth beneath you, the soft turning of time itself, all are harmonies in the same vast rhythm. You are surrounded by motion, built from motion, sustained by it. Let that realization soothe you. Nothing in existence is truly still. Even in stillness, you are turning gently, endlessly with the cosmos. The atoms in your body are spinning right now, their tiny revolutions linking you to stars, to galaxies, to everything that ever was. You are the quiet rotation, the universe at peace with its own motion. At some point, the world of shimmering probabilities begins to fade into the steady shapes we recognize. Tables, trees, clouds, our own reflection in the mirror. This transition from the uncertain to the definite is called quantum decoherence. It is the quiet process by which the dreamlike world of particles solidifies into the tangible reality we can touch. In the quantum realm, everything begins as a blur. Particles in superposition, waves of potential overlapping endlessly. But the moment those particles interact with their surroundings, with light, with air, with heat, their delicate possibilities begin to collapse. The waves stop blending and start aligning. Interference fades. Patterns freeze. The world we know emerges moment by moment from that fading mist. Decoherence is not destruction, it's translation. It's how the language of probability becomes the language of experience. Every time a photon bounces off your skin, every time an atom of air touches your hand, billions of tiny quantum systems are deciding to join the macroscopic world. The result is stability, a reality coherent enough to hold your body, your memories, your sense of time. It's almost poetic. The universe wakes itself up continuously, second by second. Every event, every contact, every glance is an act of decoherence, the wave function meeting the warmth of existence. Through this process, dreams take shape, and imagination becomes matter. Without it, there would be no sunrise, no heartbeat, no ground to stand on. But here's what's beautiful. Even as the macroscopic world appears fixed and solid, the quantum sea beneath never stops moving. The probabilities still shimmer below the surface, shaping and reshaping everything we see. Reality then isn't static. It's a collaboration between chaos and coherence, between the possible and the present. You live in that balance every day. Your thoughts, your emotions, your awareness all emerge from it. The brain itself is a quantum system. Tiny particles interacting with warmth, light, chemistry, collapsing endless potentials into one smooth flow of consciousness. You are decoherence in motion, constantly transforming possibilities into experiences. As you breathe now, you can feel that gentle transformation happening in every cell. With each inhale, new probabilities enter, oxygen molecules brushing against your lungs, electrons exchanging energy, turning chance into life. With each exhale, the process repeats. Reality renews itself through you, effortlessly. So when life feels too fixed, too rigid, remember, solidity is only an agreement between countless waves. Beneath every still surface, the universe continues to shimmer. You are made of that shimmer, held by it, and endlessly becoming. Between the tiny realm of quarks and photons and the vast expanse of stars and galaxies lies a hidden bridge. It's the quiet meeting point between quantum laws and the world we see, the link that allows the smallest vibrations to build the largest structures. Without this bridge, the universe would be fragmented, its parts speaking different languages. Yet somehow, effortlessly, everything flows together. It begins with patterns. The same quantum rules that guide electrons around an atom also shape how matter gathers into planets, how clouds swirl in spiral galaxies, how energy balances across the cosmos. From chaos, order emerges, not through force but through repetition. Waves align, particles bond, light folds into form. The bridge is not a structure we can see, but a rhythm that connects every scale of reality. When you look at your hand, you're seeing this connection in action. Each cell is a symphony of quantum interactions, electrons tunneling, atoms exchanging photons, molecular vibrations harmonizing in unison. Multiply that by billions, and the result becomes visible life. You are the bridge embodied, quantum motion made human. What happens in the smallest spaces ripples outward, influencing everything larger. The magnetic fields that shape a galaxy begin with spinning electrons. The heat of a star starts from quantum fusion. The colours of dawn are born from photons scattering through the air, tiny individual particles performing together to paint the sky. Every beauty we witness has its roots in the invisible. In this way, the universe feels almost like a woven fabric of cause and echo, where each small vibration contributes to the grand harmony. From probability to pattern, from pattern to perception, from perception to wonder. That's the bridge's song. And perhaps this connection explains something deeper, why we can look up at the night sky and feel a sense of belonging. We're not strangers observing from afar. The atoms in our eyes were born in the same quantum fires as the stars we see. When we gaze upward, the bridge completes itself, the small recognizing the vast remembering the small. So as you rest, let yourself feel that continuum. You are not separate from the microscopic or the cosmic. You are their meeting point. The pulse in your wrist mirrors the rotation of planets. The flicker in your mind echoes the spin of electrons. You are the bridge between worlds, the place where the universe looks inward and finds awareness. And in this quiet moment, that awareness glows softly, the cosmos dreaming through you. We like to think of time as a steady river, one direction, one current, carrying everything forward. Yet in the quantum world, time loses its certainty. It doesn't always move in a straight line, nor does it always move the same for every observer. Down in the smallest spaces of existence, time can ripple, bend, even hesitate. It becomes something softer, more fluid, less a march and more a pulse. In some experiments, quantum particles behave as though they can sense the future before it happens. A photon can seem to decide how it travelled after it has already arrived. The boundaries between past and future blur. What we call before and after may simply be perspectives within a larger pattern that doesn't need sequence to exist. Perhaps then time is not a line but a field, a quiet dimension that we move through like fish through water, unaware of its shape because we are made of it. Every moment isn't gone once it passes. It folds softly into the present, influencing what comes next. The universe does not delete its history. It layers it. Every instant is both echo and beginning. At the quantum level, even the ticking of a clock depends on energy transitions. The jump of electrons, the vibration of atoms, the smallest flicker of motion. Time, it seems, is built from movement. Without vibration, without change, there would be no before or after, only stillness, a universe holding its breath. But that stillness, too, would contain potential, the hint of motion waiting to unfold. In our lives, we feel time as motion as well, heartbeat to heartbeat, breath to breath. yet in quiet moments, it slows. When you rest, when you breathe deeply, when you let your mind drift, time seems to loosen its grip. Seconds widen, the present stretches, as if eternity has leaned closer for a moment. That is quantum time made human. The awareness that the flow is flexible, that stillness can hold infinite duration. So as you lie here now, listening, breathing, let time soften around you. There's no need to chase it or measure it. You are not moving through time. Time is unfolding through you gently, like a river that never truly leaves its source. In this calm state, you may sense the truth that physics hints at. Past and future are not separate. They are threads woven through the same tapestry. Each breath you take vibrates across both directions, sending ripples through what has been and what will be. The flow of time isn't something to escape. It is something to rest within, a current that carries you quietly, endlessly, through the quantum stillness that holds everything together. From where we stand, everything appears divided. There is you, and there is the world. There is the ocean and the sky, the star and the darkness around it. We move through life believing in these boundaries, lines that tell us where one thing ends and another begins, but quantum physics gently dissolves those lines. It tells us that separation is not a truth, but a useful illusion. At the smallest scale, nothing exists on its own. Every particle is entangled, every atom exchanging energy with countless others. Even the empty space between objects hums with invisible connection. Photons move between atoms like quiet messengers. Electrons trade identities. Fields overlap and weave together until individuality becomes possible to define. The universe is not made of things, but of relationships, of interactions that give rise to what we call reality. What we experience as boundaries are simply slower regions of flow, like calm eddies in a moving river. You are one of those eddies, a temporary pattern in the current of existence. Your skin feels like the border between you and the air, yet atoms cross it constantly, sharing oxygen, warmth, and energy. The distinction between self and world is less like a wall and more like a shimmering veil, transparent and soft. In truth, you have never been separate from anything. The air you breathe was once inside a tree, inside a cloud, inside another living being. The calcium in your bones came from stars that exploded before Earth was born. The photons that touch your eyes tonight began their journey billions of years ago, and in completing that journey, they become part of your seeing. Even thoughts are not isolated. They echo through the energy field of the brain, shaped by everything you've seen, heard, and loved. When you think of someone far away, your neurons fire in patterns that were shaped by their presence. You carry them, and they carry you. Quantum entanglement isn't just a theory of particles. It's a reflection of how everything resonates together. So as you breathe, let that truth soften you. Feel how the air moves in and out, how your heartbeat matches the rhythm of the world around you. You're not breathing from the universe. The universe is breathing through you. There is no true separation between observer and observed, between the dreamer and the dream. There is only continuity, one unbroken motion that takes many forms. To feel alone is to forget the quiet network that holds you, the invisible threads of energy, memory, and matter that connect all beings in a single flowing whole. In the end, the illusion of separation fades like mist in the morning sun. All that remains is connection, soft, radiant, eternal. Among the most delicate questions in science is this: where does consciousness come from? We know how neurons fire, how signals travel, how memories form. But what transforms electrical activity into experience? The vivid, private world behind your eyes? Some physicists and neuroscientists believe the answer may lie in the quantum realm, where matter and mind might meet. These ideas are often called quantum consciousness theories. They don't claim that the brain breaks physics, only that it might use nature's deepest laws to create awareness. Inside every neuron are structures called microtubules, tiny lattices that may sustain quantum vibrations. Some researchers, like Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff, suggest that these vibrations could maintain coherence, a quantum harmony long enough to influence thought itself. If true, it means that each moment of awareness could be a quantum event, the universe observing itself through you. Skeptics remind us that the brain is warm, wet, and noisy, a difficult environment for fragile quantum states. Yet nature is endlessly creative. Quantum effects guide photosynthesis, navigation in birds, and even smell. Why not the mind? Whether the theory proves right or not, it offers a poetic bridge. That consciousness is not an accident above physics, but a continuation of it. Imagine it this way. When you notice a thought drifting by, you are not separate from the universe's laws. You are them, momentarily aware. Your awareness might be the shimmering edge where probability collapses into perception, the observer born from the observed. It is a soft recursion, the cosmos looking back at itself and whispering, "I am." Perhaps that is why consciousness feels both intimate and infinite. It is rooted in the chemistry of the brain but reaches beyond, touching the same mystery that moves galaxies. Awareness in this sense could be the quantum field translated into feeling, the vibration of reality tuned to the frequency of being alive. As you rest, let that idea drift gently through your thoughts. Your mind is not a separate flame flickering in the dark. It is part of the fire that illuminates the universe. Each moment of recognition, a sound, a memory, a dream, is a small quantum collapse, turning potential into presence. You are the instrument through which the universe plays its own melody of understanding. You don't need to solve this mystery, just sense it, the way awareness arises from silence, like a wave lifting from still water. Consciousness, whatever its origin, is proof that the universe can feel itself. And tonight, as your thoughts slow and your breath deepens, the cosmos is feeling peace through you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that everything, the stars, the atoms, the empty space between, is part of a vast shared dream. A dream so detailed, so intricate, that it feels solid and certain, though it is made entirely of vibration and awareness. Quantum physics, in its softest interpretations, suggests that this might not be far from truth. Reality, it seems, is not fixed until observed. It unfolds as interaction, as relationship, as perception. In this view, the universe is not a machine running on clockwork gears. It is more like a dream that is constantly dreaming itself. Observation doesn't just reveal what is, it helps create it. The observer and the observed are woven from the same thread. A particle becomes real when it is measured, a moment becomes meaningful when it's noticed, and existence becomes conscious when you are awake within it. It's humbling to think that the cosmos might not be something outside of us, but something through us. That your awareness is part of the same equation that makes starlight travel, water shimmer, and galaxies spin. The world isn't happening to you, it's happening with you. Every breath, every heartbeat, every quiet thought adds to the unfolding of this cosmic dream. In this dream, space and time are flexible. Possibilities rise and fade like waves on an ocean, never truly gone, only transformed. You too are one of those waves, a temporary crest in an infinite sea, both unique and inseparable from the whole. The dreamer and the dream are not two things. They are the same mystery gazing inward from opposite sides of the mirror. If the universe is a dream, then beauty is its language. Light, colour and motion are its thoughts. The pulse of your heart is its rhythm. And sleep, this very act of drifting, is not escape, but return. When you close your eyes, you fall back into that larger awareness that has been dreaming you all along. So tonight, let the edges between self and universe blur. Let the notion of me and world dissolve into quiet flow. Feel the pulse beneath your chest. That is the same pulse that beats in the stars. Feel your breath. It is the universe breathing itself awake, again and again, through countless forms. You are not a small mind trapped in a vast reality. You are the vastness itself, momentarily shaped into thought, into curiosity, into wonder. You are the dream and the dreamer. As you drift further into rest, remember this. The cosmos does not sleep. It simply changes rhythm. And tonight, you are part of that rhythm, floating in the quantum dream where everything exists, softly, together. Beneath the strange behavior of particles and waves, beneath the shimmer of probability and motion, lies something astonishing: symmetry. It is the quiet architecture of the universe, the balance, the correspondence, the invisible order that gives reality its grace. While chaos seems to rule on the surface, symmetry hums beneath, guiding everything toward harmony. In physics, symmetry means that when you change something, rotate it, shift it, reflect it, the underlying laws stay the same. Whether you look to the left or the right, move forward or back, turn the whole universe upside down, its equations do not flinch. They whisper the same truth in every direction. This is why stars form in spirals, why snowflakes grow in patterns, why atoms arrange themselves in elegant geometries. Nature loves balance. It loves repetition with variation, a cosmic kind of rhyme. Even when symmetry breaks, beauty emerges. In those small imperfections, diversity is born. The universe began perfectly balanced, but tiny asymmetries, slight tilts, faint irregularities, allowed matter to form, galaxies to coalesce, life to bloom. What we call flaws are the seeds of existence. Without those gentle ruptures in perfection, there would be nothing to see, nothing to feel, nothing to be. If you look closely at your own life, you might see the same pattern. The moments of imbalance, the losses, the changes, the unexpected turns, are not errors in the design. They are how the universe expresses creativity through you. Balance isn't a static state, it's a dance. The pendulum swings not to escape harmony, but to sustain it. At the quantum level, symmetry manifests as conservation, energy, charge, momentum, all preserved elegantly, perfectly. Yet even at human scale, we feel it in subtler ways. The rhythm of breath mirrors the rhythm of waves. The beating of a heart matches the cycle of day and night. Everything flows toward equilibrium, then away again, like inhaling and exhaling, symmetry in motion. Imagine the universe as a great mandala, patterns repeating endlessly, each one reflecting the next. You are part of that pattern, your body shaped by symmetry, 2 eyes, 2 hands, lungs opening like mirrored petals. But within you too are asymmetries, the heartbeat slightly offbeat, the face slightly uneven, the mind full of contradictions. These too are beautiful. They are what make you real, alive, unique. So as you drift tonight, feel that symmetry holding you. The world turns beneath you, the air flows around you, energy moves through you, all balanced in perfect opposition and return. You're the point where opposites meet, where stillness and motion trade places. The universe does not seek perfection. It seeks resonance. And you, right now, are resonating with it, softly, perfectly, as you rest within its hidden symmetry. For more than a century, 2 great ideas have guided science's understanding of reality: quantum mechanics, which explains the smallest things, and general relativity, which governs the largest. Both are breathtaking in their precision. Both have been proven countless times. Yet, like 2 musicians playing in different keys, they cannot seem to harmonize. The quest to unite them, to explain how gravity behaves in the quantum world remains one of the deepest mysteries in physics. Einstein's gravity describes the universe as a vast curved fabric of space-time. Planets and stars bend this fabric, and that curvature tells matter how to move. But in the quantum realm, space and time are not smooth. They shimmer, flicker, and fluctuate. They are restless. So what happens when the gentle curvature of space-time meets the chaotic jitter of quantum energy? No one yet knows. Physicists have tried many paths toward this bridge. String theory, which imagines that all particles are tiny vibrating loops of energy. Loop quantum gravity, which treats space itself as woven from discrete threads. And quantum foam, a vision where space-time bubbles and bursts at the Planck scale like the surface of a boiling sea. Each theory captures a fragment of the truth, but the full picture remains just out of reach, like starlight seen through mist. Perhaps the answer isn't in more complexity, but in a new kind of simplicity, one that views gravity and quantum motion not as opposites, but as two ways the universe expresses balance. Maybe space-time itself is not a backdrop, but a living, changing participant, a fabric that breathes, flexes, and responds much like you do when you inhale and exhale. It's easy to see this grand mystery as something far away, hidden in black holes, or buried in equations too vast for understanding. But its rhythm lives everywhere. Each time you drop a pebble into water and watch the ripples spread, you witness a shadow of gravity's flow. Each time you feel warmth on your face from the sun, you're feeling the echo of space-time curved by its mass. The laws that shape galaxies are the same ones shaping the atoms in your blood. As you rest, imagine the universe folding gently around you, the curved geometry of space supporting your body as it drifts on Earth's rotation. You're held not by invisible strings or abstract math, but by the very structure of existence bending toward equilibrium. Gravity is not something that pulls you down. It is what keeps you connected to the ground, to the planet, to the cosmos itself. Quantum gravity may still be unsolved, but its mystery is also its music. Somewhere between the smallest vibration and the largest curve lies the harmony of the universe, quiet, infinite, and patient. Tonight, you are part of that patience, resting between theories, between breaths, between worlds. Imagine holding a hologram in your hand, a thin sheet of glass that, when light touches it, reveals a full three-dimensional image floating in space. Every fragment of that glass contains the whole picture. Even if you break it apart, each piece still holds the entire image in miniature. Now, imagine that the universe might work in a similar way. This is the holographic principle. The idea that all the information about everything we see in 3 dimensions could actually be stored on a 2-dimensional surface at the edge of reality. This sounds impossible, yet the mathematics of black holes first hinted at it. When matter falls into a black hole, the information describing it, its energy, mass, and quantum details, seems to be preserved on the event horizon, that thin boundary surrounding the darkness. Nothing inside escapes, but the surface keeps the record, like a cosmic memory etched into light. Physicists began to wonder, what if the entire universe is like that? A projection, a vast hologram, every detail we experience encoded on a distant cosmic boundary. If that's true, then what we call space is not an emptiness, but an unfolding of information. The world around you, the walls, the air, the stars, might be the 3-dimensional image of data shimmering on the universe's horizon. Matter becomes meaning. Light becomes language. We live inside a cosmic hologram, a dream of geometry rendered by physics itself. But even if it's true, it doesn't make reality less real. The image still exists. It still has weight, warmth, and wonder. It only means that depth and distance may be illusions of perspective, that the essence of everything is already complete, already present, woven across the whole. Just as a single shard of holographic glass contains the entire picture, each particle of you holds the story of the cosmos. The totality of existence hides inside every grain of matter, every flicker of light, every breath. There's something profoundly gentle about that thought, that nothing is ever truly lost, that the universe remembers itself through its own reflection. When you look at the night sky, you're not gazing outward into endless space. You're seeing a projection of information that also lives within you. The stars are not far away. They're patterns folded into the same cosmic film you are written on. So as you drift deeper into rest, imagine your body becoming transparent. A field of light lines and softly glowing code merging with the space around it. You're not inside the universe. The universe is inside you, reflected infinitely across dimensions. Reality may be a hologram, but that makes it no less sacred. It means that even the smallest spark contains the whole, that each breath, each heartbeat, each thought is a perfect reflection of the cosmos. You are the image and the source, the pattern and the light. Sleep then, as the universe folds itself gently around you, a luminous picture, infinite and whole. Every discovery in science begins not with proof, but with wonder. Before the equations and the data, there is a quiet question: what if? Imagination, more than any instrument, is the true beginning of understanding. The universe reveals itself to those willing to dream beyond what they can see. Think of Einstein, daydreaming on a tram in Bern, imagining what it would feel like to ride alongside a beam of light. Or Schrödinger, conjuring a cat inside a thought experiment to expose the paradox of quantum reality. Or countless others, unknown and unrecorded, who looked at the stars or a grain of dust and felt the pull of curiosity stronger than certainty. Imagination is how the cosmos speaks through us. It is the quantum leap of the mind, collapsing possibility into discovery. In quantum physics especially, imagination isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The human senses cannot see atoms, cannot touch probability, cannot feel space-time bending. To explore these things, scientists must picture them. They build mental landscapes where particles are waves, where time flows backward, where matter dissolves into information. From these inner visions, new equations are born, and with them new realities. But imagination is not limited to scientists. You use it constantly, every time you remember, anticipate, or dream. Your mind creates entire universes in silence, painting them with memory and hope. Each time you imagine something, you're performing a small act of creation, letting quantum possibilities take form within consciousness. The brain, in its quiet brilliance, simulates existence itself, turning abstract thoughts into emotional experience, just as the universe turns energy into matter. In this way, imagination is not fantasy, it's participation. When you wonder about the stars, you are not separate from them. You are helping them shine in your awareness. When you envision the future, you are shaping the probabilities that might become real. Thought and reality are intertwined. Imagination is the bridge, and perhaps that's why imagination feels so sacred. It allows us to step beyond what is and touch what could be. It invites us to live not just as observers of the universe, but as co-creators. Every invention, every poem, every gesture of kindness begins as an imagined possibility that someone dared to make real. So as you lie here, drifting between waking and sleep, let your imagination open like a window to the infinite. Picture the subatomic world glowing with gentle light, particles swirling, waves folding, fields humming. Picture galaxies rising like luminous petals across the dark. Picture yourself floating among them, a spark of awareness carried by the same rhythm that moves everything. In imagination, there are no boundaries, there is only flow, the same flow that gave birth to stars, to consciousness, to every act of wonder. So dream deeply tonight. The universe imagines through you, and in that dream creation continues. For all our science, for all the equations that describe the cosmos, we still stand in awe of existence itself. The deeper we look, the more mysterious it becomes. Not smaller, not simpler, but more infinite in every direction. And somehow, that immensity feels personal. The quantum world may be microscopic, but its echoes live inside us. We are not apart from the mystery. We are its human scale, its living translation. Your body is a bridge of worlds. Inside each of your cells, countless quantum events unfold every second. Electrons tunneling through membranes, photons sparking chemical reactions, molecules vibrating in perfect resonance. These are not abstractions. They are you, the pulse in your wrist, the warmth in your skin, the thoughts forming in your mind. All are born from that same invisible dance. You are the universe becoming aware of its own design. It's easy to think of science as something distant, locked in laboratories or chalked on blackboards, but in truth you carry it everywhere. The laws of physics are written into your heartbeat, into the spiral of your DNA, into the way your lungs expand like the universe itself, outward, inward, always in rhythm. You're made of hydrogen that once burned in stars, of carbon that drifted through interstellar clouds, of oxygen that cycled through ancient oceans. The cosmos did not create you as an observer, it created you as continuation. And so, to understand the universe, you don't always need telescopes or particle accelerators. Sometimes it's enough to feel your own breath. When you inhale, you draw in atoms that have been shared by every living thing, atoms that once shimmered in a comet's tail, or formed the bones of a bird, or circled the globe in winds long before your birth. The boundary between you and the world dissolves. You're an expression of the same energy, momentarily shaped into awareness. The great mystery, then, is not only out there, it is here. In the way your heart continues to beat, your mind continues to wonder, your spirit continues to reach for meaning. The same principles that govern quantum entanglement, that let particles communicate across distance, may echo in the unseen bonds of empathy and memory that connect us all. You are small, yes, but you are also vast. Within you, the universe contemplates itself, experiments with perception, practices love. Your existence is the meeting point of physics and poetry, logic and longing. You don't need to understand it all. You only need to feel that you are part of something endless. So as you drift toward rest, let that mystery comfort you. You don't have to solve it. You only have to live it. The quantum and the human are not separate. They are two notes in the same soft chord, resonating quietly across eternity. We began this journey in motion, particles humming, atoms swirling, waves collapsing into being. Now we drift back towards stillness, though not the kind that means absence or end. This stillness is full, the quiet after understanding, the peace that comes when curiosity finds rest. Beneath all the movement, beneath all the complexity, there is a foundation of calm that has never changed. Every vibration, every flicker of energy, every moment of awareness arises from that silence. It's the background of everything, the untouched field behind existence. Even the quantum vacuum with its endless fluctuations hums within this greater stillness. It is not nothingness, it's the steady rhythm that allows everything to flow. If you could listen to the universe closely enough, past all its light and sound, past gravity's pulse and time's whisper, you might hear it, the quiet continuity of being. It's in the pause between heartbeats, in the silence that follows a sigh, in the weightless moment before sleep. Stillness is not an absence of life. It is its root. As you breathe now, feel that return. Your mind has wandered through galaxies and particles, through theories and dreams, through probabilities and wonder. Let those thoughts settle gently, like dust floating back to earth after sunlight. You don't need to hold them. They were never meant to be held, only felt and then released. The same is true for everything in the cosmos. Stars burn, collapse and rise again. Waves form, break, and return to sea. Atoms vibrate, exchange energy, and rest. The entire universe inhales and exhales, and you are part of that breath. One motion, one flow. Stillness does not mean the end of the dance. It is the rhythm that gives it meaning. When you lie here now, the world does not stop moving, but your awareness begins to align with the deeper calm beneath it. You can feel it even now, the earth turning beneath you, the air resting softly on your skin, the pulse of your body syncing with the quiet pulse of existence. This is the same stillness that existed before time began, the one that will remain when all things dissolve. It doesn't belong to anyone or anywhere, it simply is. And you, in this moment, are resting inside it. Let your thoughts fade into that silence. Let your breath slow until it matches the rhythm of the universe. There is nothing left to understand, nothing left to seek. You are already home, in stillness, in motion, in the space where they meet. The world continues to hum quietly around you, but for now you can let it drift. Return to stillness, not as escape, but as remembrance of what you've always been, calm, infinite, whole. All through this journey, one truth has shimmered beneath every discovery, that uncertainty is not the enemy of knowledge, but its companion. The quantum world teaches us that not everything must be known to be real, and not every mystery needs to be solved to bring peace. Uncertainty in its quiet way is what gives the universe room to breathe. We tend to seek answers, to crave stability, to want the world to stay still. But nature thrives in motion. It creates through variation, not control. The same uncertainty that lets particles exist in superposition also allows galaxies to form, allows life to adapt, allows hearts to love without guarantees. Certainty builds walls, uncertainty opens doors. It is the invitation to wonder. In quantum physics, we never know a particle's exact position and momentum at the same time. We can only know one or the other with limited precision. This principle, Heisenberg's uncertainty, isn't a flaw in measurement. It's a feature of reality itself. The universe keeps its details soft at the edges, as if to remind us that perfection would be too still to be alive. And maybe that's how we're meant to live too. Not in absolute clarity, but in graceful approximation. To wake each day not knowing what will come, yet trusting that possibility itself is a form of beauty. When you don't demand control, the world reveals its gentler rhythms. You begin to see uncertainty not as absence, but as openness. Think of the sky at dusk, the colours shifting, never fixed, always between. Or the ocean at night, waves that rise and fall, never the same, yet always the sea. That's what uncertainty feels like when accepted. Movement, renewal, infinite creativity. In your own life, every question, every moment of doubt, every decision without clear outcome, these are your personal quantum experiments. They are the way you participate in the unfolding of reality. To live with uncertainty is to join the flow of creation rather than resist it. You don't need to predict each outcome. You only need to stay present as they arrive. As you rest now, let uncertainty feel light, not heavy. Let it become a kind of freedom. You're surrounded by unknowns, and that is not emptiness, it's potential. Every breath you take collapses a new set of probabilities. Every dream you have writes new equations in the quiet fabric of being. The stars, too, once lived in uncertainty, drifting clouds of gas before gravity shaped them into light. From unknowing came brilliance, from openness, form. Let that be your comfort tonight. Not everything must be certain to be beautiful. The unknown is the space where wonder lives. Breathe into it. Rest in it. Let it cradle you. The future is soft, the present infinite, the past still unfolding behind you like starlight travelling home. When all the theories are set aside, the equations, the experiments, the words, what remains is the simple truth that everything vibrates with connection. At the deepest level, the universe is not made of matter or even of energy, but of relationship. Each particle, each wave, each flash of light exists only through its interaction with everything else. This endless network of connection is the quantum heart of existence. Imagine reality as a great web, woven from invisible threads of potential. Each intersection is a particle, each strand a flow of energy. Nothing in this web stands alone. Pull one thread, and the whole fabric trembles. Shine light on one point, and every other point glows a little brighter. The heart of the cosmos beats through these connections, uniting all things in quiet synchronization. Your body hums with the same rhythm. Each heartbeat is the echo of stars collapsing and reforming. Each breath a ripple through the cosmic ocean of air and energy. Even your thoughts, flickering with electrical signals, mirror the exchanges between particles, brief connections that create meaning out of motion. You're not a collection of separate parts. You're a living pattern of unity, a single wave in an ocean of awareness. Scientists have long sought a single theory that explains everything, but perhaps the simplest explanation is already here. Existence is relationship. The universe does not contain connection. It is connection, dynamic, entangled, alive. Even loneliness, when looked at closely, is an illusion born of perspective. Underneath it, the truth remains that you have never been alone. Every atom in your body shares its story with the stars. Think of the rhythm of your heart. Lub-dub, pause, lub-dub. Between each beat is a moment of stillness, yet the stillness and the pulse are one cycle, one motion. So too is the quantum heart of the cosmos, vibration and silence, creation and rest, forever alternating in perfect balance. It doesn't seek to end, it seeks to continue. As you breathe now, feel that universal pulse flowing through you. The rise and fall of your chest mirrors the expansion and contraction of galaxies. The warmth in your skin is the same fire that burns in distant suns. The awareness behind your thoughts is the echo of a universe becoming conscious of itself. In every vibration, in every connection, there is love. Not the human kind that depends on words, but the fundamental harmony that binds existence together. It is the impulse that makes atoms share electrons, that makes light reach toward darkness, that makes you reach toward understanding. You are the quantum heart, awareness taking shape in time, beating softly in rhythm with infinity. The universe is not outside you, it is within, pulsing through your every breath. And in that realization, everything feels whole. At the beginning of this journey, we spoke of how observation shapes reality, how the act of looking, of noticing, transforms possibility into form. But now, as we drift toward stillness, something softer reveals itself. The boundary between observer and observed begins to dissolve. The more deeply we look, the more the two become one. In quantum experiments, when a particle is measured, it changes, but so does the observer. Consciousness doesn't simply watch, it participates. The photons that reach your eyes, the signals that travel through your neurons, the awareness that interprets them, all are part of one continuous motion. The universe is not being watched by you, it is watching itself through you. Every experience, every thought, every heartbeat is a small reunion between subject and object. You are the particle and the wave, the one who sees and the one being seen. When light from a distant star enters your eye, that starlight's ancient journey completes itself in your awareness. You're not separate from it. You're the final step in its unfolding. The observer becomes the observed, and the circle closes gently. This is not a metaphor. It's a reflection of how nature behaves. Quantum physics reveals that the universe does not exist as a fixed picture waiting to be viewed. It's an interactive creation coming into focus through relationship. Awareness is woven into the process, not standing apart from it. There is no outside vantage point, no cosmic spectator. Everything is inside the same luminous field of observation. To live with this realization is to feel the world differently. You begin to sense that every act of attention, a glance, a thought, a breath, is a thread in the web of creation. The more gently you observe, the more gently the universe reveals itself. The world responds not to control, but to care. When you look at the sky, the stars are not merely objects of beauty, they are mirrors reflecting your own light. When you listen to the wind, it is not speaking to you, but through you. Every sound, every shimmer, every sensation is a shared moment of recognition between consciousness and cosmos. So tonight, as your eyes grow heavy, feel that exchange taking place. The world around you isn't something you're falling asleep in, it's something you're falling asleep as. The breath of the universe moves through your lungs. The silence of the night hums softly in your thoughts. You're both the dreamer and the dream. The observer becomes the observed, awareness folding back into itself like a wave returning to the ocean. Nothing is lost. Everything simply merges into unity. In that merging, there is peace. You have never been apart from the whole. You have only been its gaze, learning to see itself. After all the equations fade, after every particle and wave has been named, what remains is silence. A silence not of absence, but of completion. It is the quiet that follows understanding, the still resonance of truth once words are no longer needed. Quantum physics may describe the smallest things, but even it bows before a mystery it cannot measure, the simple fact that something exists at all. Measurement has been the human way of touching the universe. Rulers and clocks, detectors and data. We measure to know, to hold, to feel certainty. Yet every measurement changes what is measured. Every act of defining draws a boundary, and every boundary leaves something beyond it. There will always be a remainder, the unmeasurable, the infinite, the sacred quiet between numbers. At the edge of knowledge, scientists speak of quantum indeterminacy, but perhaps it is something more familiar, humility. A recognition that the universe doesn't need to be fully solved to be beautiful. The silence beyond measurement is not a failure of understanding. It is the doorway through which awe enters. Think of standing before the ocean at night. You can describe its tides, its chemistry, its depth, yet none of those words capture the feeling of being near it. The hum of vastness, the taste of salt, the way the horizon erases the line between water and sky. That feeling is what exists beyond measurement. It's what happens when knowledge transforms back into wonder. Even in science, silence has its place. The pauses between discoveries give meaning to the discoveries themselves. The gaps between atoms hold the energy that binds them. The space between heartbeats carries the rhythm of life. Without emptiness, there would be no form. Without silence, no sound. You are part of this balance, your own awareness. So full of thoughts, questions, memories, rests on a foundation of stillness that never leaves. Beneath your ideas, beneath your words, beneath even your breathing, there is a silence that watches, unchanged. It is not something you must find. It is what you already are when the noise fades. As you lie here now, let that silence envelop you. Let the measuring mind loosen its grip. You do not need to define anything, not this moment, not yourself, not tomorrow. The universe has already accepted you without explanation. You are a note that belongs to the song, even when you're not singing. Breathe gently. Feel the calm between each inhale and exhale. That small gap is the same stillness that holds galaxies in their orbits. Beyond all measurement, beyond all knowing, there is peace. And that peace, right now, is surrounding you, holding you, and becoming you. If you trace every equation, every theory, every thought to its end, you find yourself back at the beginning, a quiet awareness wondering what it means to be. Physics has shown us that matter is energy. Energy is vibration. Vibration is information. But what animates it all? What makes the information aware of itself? Some call it consciousness, others call it the dream, the universe dreaming reality into being. It may sound poetic, but perhaps it's also literal. At the smallest scales, reality exists only as potential until observed. The act of awareness, whether through a detector, a photon, or a human mind, calls it into focus. The dreamer stirs, and the dream becomes real. Each moment you live is that act happening again and again. Awareness breathing form into the formless. In this sense, the universe is not a stage filled with separate actors, but one vast consciousness experiencing itself from countless points of view. Every particle, every star, every person is a window through which existence perceives its own unfolding. You are one such window, a conscious lens through which the cosmos looks back at itself, whispering, "I am." This dream of reality is not fragile or illusory, it is creative. Like the mind in sleep, the universe imagines in vivid detail galaxies, oceans, thoughts, love, all shimmering into being for no other reason than to experience them. And just as a dream feels real while we're inside it, reality feels solid while we're awake. Yet both emerge from the same mystery, awareness shaping itself into story. When you let go of trying to separate dream from real, you discover that both are expressions of the same flow, your waking life. Your sleeping visions, your memories and hopes, all are ripples in the same ocean of consciousness. When you sleep tonight, you will not be leaving reality. You'll be rejoining its quieter rhythm, another layer of the same infinite imagination. The beauty of this dream is that it doesn't demand control, it invites surrender. You don't need to steer it, you only need to feel it moving through you. When you breathe, the dream breathes with you. When you rest, the dream rests through you. So as your eyes grow heavy, imagine the world fading into soft light, forms melting into flow, sound into silence, self into everything. The dream of reality continues, and you are both within it and creating it. The stars outside your window are part of it. The warmth of your blanket is part of it. The thought you're having right now, part of it too. There is no boundary between the dreamer and the dream, only one infinite awareness, endlessly unfolding itself into wonder, and as you fall asleep, that awareness continues, serene, luminous, whole, in the deepest calm of the night, when thought has quieted and breath has slowed. A question sometimes drifts through the stillness. What is the soul? Religion, philosophy and poetry have all tried to define it, but perhaps science, in its quietest moments, touches its edge too. Quantum physics doesn't speak of souls, but it does speak of persistence, of energy that never dies, of patterns that transform but never disappear. Maybe the soul is the echo of those patterns, the quantum signature of awareness continuing to flow. Every atom in your body has existed for billions of years. None of them were created or destroyed by you. They only changed form. The same is true for energy. It cannot vanish, only transform. When a star fades, its light continues to travel through space long after its flame has gone out. And when we too pass from one form to another, perhaps some part of us, a vibration, a coherence, a field of memory, remains, rippling softly through the fabric of existence. Some physicists describe consciousness as a quantum process, a delicate state of coherence that flickers in and out of the physical world. If that's true, then the soul might be the pattern that holds when all else changes, the awareness that observes itself across dimensions of being. Death, then, would not be an end, but a phase shift, a transformation of the wave, not its extinction. Even without proof, this idea feels familiar, as if we already know it in our bones. When you look at the night sky and sense something vast moving within you, when you feel connected to someone who's no longer here, when silence feels alive, these are moments when the boundaries between matter and spirit dissolve, when the quantum soul hums quietly beneath perception. You don't need to name it, you only need to feel its continuity, the way your thoughts ripple outward, the way your kindness echoes, the way your love leaves traces that do not fade. Energy and emotion are alike in that way. Neither is lost, only changed. The quantum soul is not separate from the body or the brain. It is the whole, the field of awareness that extends beyond time, beyond form, beyond the illusion of individuality. Just as one wave cannot be separated from the ocean, you cannot be separated from the consciousness that surrounds and sustains you. As you rest, imagine your body dissolving into light, every cell, every atom glowing softly. Beneath that glow is a pattern of awareness too intricate to end. The same pattern that lived in stars before you were born and will continue long after you've become part of their dust again. Your soul is not something you have, it's something you are, the quantum resonance of being itself. It doesn't begin or end, it flows. And tonight, as your breath slows and your awareness deepens, that flow continues, quietly, eternally, beautifully. If you could step back far enough to see the universe as one vast motion, you would see that everything, every atom, every star, every heartbeat, is part of a single, continuous dance. It has no beginning and no end. Matter and energy rise and fall like tides, forming patterns that shimmer for a moment, then fade, only to form again in new combinations. It is not chaos. It is choreography, delicate, balanced, infinite. This dance began, as far as we can tell, in an explosion of light and possibility, the Big Bang. Yet even that may not have been a beginning, only a breath in an eternal rhythm. Expansion followed contraction, creation followed rest. Time, space, gravity, and quantum motion intertwined like partners, spinning out galaxies, stars, planets, and eventually awareness itself. Each particle knows its steps, each field hums in tune. The dance continues in silence, guided by harmony rather than command. You are part of this motion. Your cells vibrate with the same tempo as the cosmic background. The blood flowing through your veins follows spirals that mirror the spin of galaxies. The breath entering your lungs moves with the same gentle rhythm that turns the earth. You're not watching the universe dance, you are dancing it. The dance of everything does not seek perfection. It moves through imbalance and restoration, through order and surprise. Sometimes it is still, sometimes turbulent, sometimes bright, sometimes unseen, yet no step is ever wasted. Every fluctuation adds depth to the pattern, just as every heartbeat adds texture to the silence between beats. When physicists look for a theory of everything, they are in a way searching for the choreography behind this cosmic movement, the rules that let such vast harmony emerge from simple principles. But maybe the dance cannot be fully written. Maybe its beauty lies in its improvisation, in how it responds and flows, endlessly self-correcting, endlessly alive. If you listen closely, you can feel this dance within you right now. The hum of blood in your ears, the rise and fall of your chest, the swirl of thoughts that come and go. Every motion within you reflects the universe's larger rhythm. Even your stillness participates. The pause before a note, the silence before dawn. So as you drift deeper into rest, imagine yourself floating in that universal motion. You're the breath of the cosmos, exhaling and inhaling through time. You're the ripple and the ocean, the dancer and the dance. Every cell, every atom, every flicker of thought moves in step with creation's rhythm. And the music, though unheard, is always playing, soft, endless, full of light. Nothing is outside it. Nothing is separate. Everything flows, everything turns, everything dances, together, forever, as one. In quantum physics, when a wave of possibilities encounters observation, it collapses, not with violence, but with quiet inevitability. From infinite maybes, one reality blooms. This moment, this breath, this heartbeat, each is the gentle collapse of the universe choosing to be, not forced, not rushed, but surrendered softly to the simplicity of now. The same happens in your life every second. Choices unfold from clouds of potential. Thoughts drift through, waiting for one to take shape. Emotions shimmer until one settles in your chest. Existence is an endless wave function, collapsing moment by moment into experience. The future is not written in advance. It's whispered into being through your awareness. This collapse is not loss, it's creation. When a particle chooses a position, when light chooses a path, when you choose a thought, reality becomes tangible. The quantum fog clears just long enough to reveal form, and then, in the next breath, the possibilities rise again. The universe never stops breathing. It simply alternates between potential and presence. Even your dreams follow this rhythm. Each night your mind collapses the waves of memory and imagination into landscapes that feel real. Each morning, the waking world takes shape the same way, from a field of infinite potential into a single moment of clarity. Reality in this sense is not permanent. It's a rhythm. Appear, dissolve, appear again. If you've ever felt afraid of endings, remember that collapse is not destruction. It's transformation. The wave never dies. It only changes shape. The particle doesn't disappear. It returns to possibility. Every farewell, every exhale, every fading light is a quiet continuation of that same pattern. What looks like ending is simply return. Return to the field, to potential, to the soft waiting of what's next. So as you breathe now, feel the universe collapsing gently around you, not closing in, but settling into harmony. Each breath is a wave choosing stillness, each heartbeat a particle finding its place, and in the space between beats, the wave rises again, ready to become the next moment, the next dream, the next version of you. Everything that exists is always becoming, always resolving, always flowing between possibility and form. That flow is not something you need to control. It is what holds you. You are not falling into stillness. Stillness is unfolding through you. The collapse is gentle because it is love, the universe choosing to express itself again and again, through awareness, through motion, through you. And now, after drifting through atoms and light, through time and thought, through every shimmer of the unseen, we arrive where all journeys lead, to flow. The motion that began before beginnings still moves within you now. Every idea we've touched, every mystery we've met has carried the same quiet pulse. Everything changes, everything connects, everything flows. If you listen closely, you can feel that rhythm beneath your breath. The rise and fall that mirrors the tides, the gentle turning of the earth beneath your resting body. You're not apart from this motion, you're its expression. Even in stillness you are moving, atoms vibrating, heart steady, consciousness unfolding like ripples across a calm sea. This flow is the universe remembering itself. The same energy that birthed galaxies moves through the warmth of your chest. The same probability waves that shape particles shape your dreams. You are the cosmos, slowed into form for a little while, experiencing its own wonder from within. Everything we've explored, superposition, entanglement, time, symmetry, silence, all return to this simple truth. Nothing stands alone. There is no boundary between the physical and the spiritual, between science and serenity. The deeper we look, the more we see unity, continuity, motion without end. When the wave collapses, another rises. When light fades, it becomes warmth. When thought quiets, awareness remains. There is no true stillness, only softer currents of change. Even sleep is not an ending, but a return, emerging back into the universal rhythm that carries all things. So as you lie here now, let yourself drift with that rhythm. Let your breath synchronize with the slow expansion of the stars. Let your thoughts dissolve like foam into the ocean of being. The past, the future, the countless possibilities, they all fold into this single moment, this quiet awareness, this now. You have travelled through the quantum dream, through the layers of matter and mind, and what you have found is peace, not the absence of motion, but the acceptance of it. You are the wave, the field, the light, the silence between vibrations. You are the still point through which the universe flows forever. Let go. Float. Feel the current carry you effortlessly, endlessly. There is nowhere to go, nothing to reach. You are already where the river meets the sea, where energy becomes calm, where awareness becomes rest. And as you exhale, let the final word settle gently into your mind. A whisper, a truth, a lullaby from the heart of the cosmos. Everything flows. Sleep in that motion.